It's very cold.
I know, it's okay.
That's why, like, when we finish this, it's just 10. Replenish my cup.
I need it today. Yeah, the goal is to keep my voice through the entire meeting.
Oh,
I love you. Have I told you that lately? By the way, we haven't talked about Gaga.
what?
We have not talked about Gaga.
Oh, no.
I was there the second night. The second or the third?
Oh, the third.
I was there the second, yeah. I thought you were at, yeah. I was gone at a wedding for the weekend.
I was in Florida the weekend. I was afraid of it. But you know what? The weather was really crappy. Like Sunday was nice, but the weather was otherwise rainy and kind of.
No, I was fine until Sunday. And I just started losing my voice.
When I started, filing behind her, I started to hear.
Oh, you're fine. I'm alerted by IT that there is a little bit of a hiccup with the feed going out on Granicus. However, the feed going out on YouTube is perfectly fine. We will rectify this after the meeting recording is done. But for those who are watching at home and are looking for this on the Granicus feed, to all county employees who might get a phone call, that's why. I will tell county board office right now. And we're going to have a little bit of a change up here. The vice chair is helping us out with passing stuff out, and we're ready to go. Thanks.
Good morning. I call the October 14th, 2025 meeting of the DuPage County Board to order. A quorum of members is physically present. I will entertain a motion to permit those members not physically present due to, all in favor? Okay. Motion carries. Okay. I invite everyone to stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Member Childress, will you please lead us in the pledge? I now invite Pastor Scott Howington from Pleasant Hill Community Church in Wheaton to lead us in the invocation.
Let's pray. Almighty God, this morning we stand before you and this board today, and I am here as one having been able to gratefully call DuPage County my home for 29 years. What a great place to live and rear a family. Today I pause in this moment with my fellow citizens to consider one reality which binds us together, our shared humanity. As human beings created equal in your image, we each deserve respect, dignity, kindness, fairness, freedom, and justice. We ask you would grant that to us today. No doubt this morning there will be discussions and deliberations, differences of opinion expressed, compromises forged, motions made and votes taken. It's the business of governing. But in all of that, may our shared humanity and the common good of all citizens of DuPage County be the underlying motivation and unifying factor for each one on this board who serves and governs DuPage County. So this morning, I ask you to bless the DuPage County Board as it meets. I ask you to bless each of the women and men employed by our county to serve us in so many ways. I ask you to bless each person who calls DuPage County their home today. In your grace and kindness and mercy, Almighty God, may you grant wisdom and discernment to this board today. I ask these things in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Hear our prayer, O God. Amen.
Mr. Deputy Clerk, please take the roll.
Member Cahill. Member Childress. Member Covert. Member Desart.
Here.
Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia. Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Here.
And Member Zay.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank Vice Chair Childress for tag teaming with me. I am not contagious, board, but I do want you to know that the COVID and flu and all those things are real, so get your shots. If I lose my voice, we'll figure it out as we go. So I had, not now, no, I do not. No, Member Cahill, I do not have COVID. Okay. Member Zay, could you come sit right here, please? Okay, first I'd like to start by inviting Member Zay, Nick Kottmeyer, and Sarah Hunn to the podium. Today we celebrate the 20-year service anniversary of our Stormwater Management Department Director, Sarah Hunn. In addition to her outstanding work as an engineer, I know Sarah works diligently to nurture the talents of young people interested in engineering. The Stormwater Intern Program is really vibrant and helps students understand the many ways they can channel their interests in STEM careers. Thank you, Sarah, for your leadership, and congratulations on your first 20 years of service to the county. I'll ask Stormwater Committee Chairman Jim Zay to say a few words about Sarah before we present her award.
Nick's going to do some of the background, but all of you know Sarah. Just a true professional, a leader. We're lucky to have her. She's always, since she started the county, been a leader. She worked her way up. And I tell you, and she took over as director in probably the worst time possible from Tony Charlton right in the middle of COVID when COVID started. But people don't realize, just not stormwater. She does so much more. She has so many other special projects that she does. I mean, during COVID, she was running a lot of stuff for our departments, requisitioning different things that we needed. She's always there to help. Funny, we asked her, we have the President's Cup coming up this year, which people think it's a nice event, but they're building 30 structures out at Medina Country Club, and we're worried about stormwater, building, transportation, health department. So we formed a work group, and Sarah volunteered to lead that. So I feel much better now. Hopefully after this last meeting tomorrow, she can run it and they don't have to talk to me ever again. But she is a great professional. She does such a great job. And she's nice. I mean, that's the thing. And dealing with me, she's part saint probably. So, but again, I can't say congratulations enough to Sarah, and Nick will talk about all her accomplishments.
Not the least of which is that Sarah has worked with Jim Zay as the Stormwater Chair for all of her 20 years here. So today, it's truly an honor to be up here celebrating 20 years that Sarah has been with DuPage County. And I do seem to remember that I had the privilege to be in on her interview 20 years ago. So I was actually on that ground floor. So she was originally hired in October of 2025 as a senior civil engineer in stormwater. And she has, she's moved to a project engineer, senior project engineer, chief stormwater engineer, deputy director of stormwater management. And as Jim said, in May of 2020, she became our director of stormwater. And she served wonderfully for the past 5 years in that role. We've been very lucky. So everybody knows that Sarah's the one in charge if we see a drop of rain in DuPage County. And I can't tell you how many calls she gets from probably the chair of stormwater myself. Sarah, it's raining. She's like, yeah, I know it's raining. But I mean, she does so much more than that. But we all sleep better because she's at the helm of stormwater, because we know she's not sleeping. And so that makes a big difference. But as the chair mentioned, as Jim mentioned, the fact Sarah does so much more than just stormwater. From water quality to professional development to mentoring younger ones, she's a huge resource for DuPage County. And I just have one little story that Jim started touching on. So she's willing to do anything, any job you give her. She's like, no problem, I'll do it. Great example is during COVID, things were crazy. For those of you around during COVID, absolutely crazy around here. We were coming up with new rules, new strategies daily, sometimes multiple times a day. And all of a sudden, we started getting some batches of the vaccine. And so we had, probably thousands of people, our employees who wanted to have the vaccines, and we'd have like 5 or 10. I was like, Sarah, you're in charge of figuring out the vaccines, distributing. And she's like, got it, I'm on it. Never even, and that's how she does it, doesn't even bat an eye, will help with any department, any project, any task, and it's just a pleasure. And I know you've got a lot of your stormwater staff back there too celebrating, but thank you very much for everything you've done for the county and continue to do for the county. So thank you. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm humbled by everyone's remarks. It is, again, truly humbling to be up here. Nick, I too remember the interview 20 years ago. I remember how I walked into the interview thinking, well, I've been working at IDOT for the last 4 years. I'm sure the county is going to be much simpler. I had no idea the extensive work that DuPage County Stormwater Management does. I had no idea that we would be out physically opening gates during flood events. I had no idea that our committee chair would also be out there with us at 5, 6, or 7 a.m. while we're opening those gates. Jim may make the joke that he has his rain jacket in the car and ready to go, but it's not a joke. He is truly ready to go. And we're lucky with that. And I'm here 20 years later working with the best group of people that I could ever hope for. We may be a little bit nerdy in stormwater, think like the show Big Bang Theory. We have 13 engineers, environmental scientists, ecologists, and soil scientists, not to mention somehow an administrative staff that understands and can work with all of us. It's a lot of fun, and I'm still honored to this day to be part of leading the best stormwater management department in the state of Illinois. And behind the leadership of you, Chair Conroy, Chair Zay, Nick Kottmeyer, and the entire county board, I want to make sure we continue to be the best stormwater management department in the state of Illinois. So thank you, everyone. Again, I'm truly humbled. I don't know about another 20 years, but I do look forward to many more years.
Okay. Now I invite Keiko Check to the podium for a proclamation. This month, we join the rest of the nation in proclaiming October National Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in DuPage County. As we do so, we highlight the vital role of the American Cancer Society that it plays in our community. We are joined by Keiko Check, one of the coaches of the West Suburban Making Strides Against Cancer, the annual walk and fundraising event held at Cantini on October 5th. Allow me to read our proclamation, and then we'll allow our guests to tell us more about this year's event. Whereas, as estimated, 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in their lifetime, and tragically, 1 in 40 will succumb to the disease. And whereas an estimated 1 in 800 men will develop breast cancer in their lifetime, but often at later, more advanced stages due to the low awareness of the risk. And whereas both women and men can reduce their breast cancer risk by maintaining a healthy weight, being physically active, and eating a balanced diet throughout their lives. And whereas early detection and prompt treatment can significantly reduce suffering and death associated with this disease. Whereas the American Cancer Society continues to provide free resources, support, and services to individuals battling breast cancer in communities across the nation. And whereas 1 in every 2 women newly diagnosed with breast cancer seek support from the American Cancer Society for hope and guidance. And whereas the residents of DuPage County showed their support by proudly participating in the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk at Cantini Park, raising vital funds and awareness in support of the American Cancer Society's efforts to advance research and reduce the incidence and impact of breast cancer both nationally and globally. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Deborah A. Conroy, Chair of the DuPage County Board, and members of the County Board do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month in DuPage County, and we support the volunteers, donors, and staff of the American Cancer Society. And all organizations who are working to end breast cancer as we know it. Okay, enacted. Motion carries. Enacted the 14th day of October 2025 in Wheaton, Illinois.
Thank you so much. 40 years ago, the American Cancer Society helped launch October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month to raise awareness about mammography and breast cancer screenings. Over the past 4 decades, our efforts have helped drive major progress. From 1989 to 2022, we've seen a 44% drop in breast cancer death rate. We've invested over $600 million in breast cancer research over the past 30 years. We've funded research for life-saving breast cancer treatments like tamoxifen and Herceptin, plus the research that shows mammography is the best way to find cancer early. stated 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. What that equates to is over 316,000 women and also 2,800 men will be diagnosed this year, and over 42,000 will perish from the disease. We held our annual Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk on Sunday, October 5th at Cantini Park here in Wheaton. Making Strides Against Breast Cancer is not just a walk, it is a movement. We brought together over 2,500 people, including over 1,600 who shuttled to and from Cantini from the 509 parking garage around the corner. We celebrated over 220 cancer survivors, thrivers, and previvors. So far, we've raised over $221,000, but we're only halfway through the month, so we know we will be much closer to reaching our goal of $390,000. The money we raise funds breast cancer research, but it funds so much more. The American Cancer Society has a 24/7 helpline to answer questions for people about a cancer diagnosis, from what does it mean, what does this treatment mean, what are the side effects, how do I talk to my kids about a diagnosis, how do I pay for my treatment, how do I navigate insurance, and so much more. Our ACS Cares app, which launched last year, helps a patient navigate their cancer journey, connecting them to resources as well as people who have gone through the same journey. One of the biggest obstacles that cancer patients have is actually getting to their life-saving treatment. We have volunteer drivers to get patients to and from these treatments. I am proud of the fact that in the state of Illinois, DuPage County is the top county in fulfilling rides, with over 60% of rides being fulfilled. But there is still work to be done in recruiting more drivers so we can find a ride for the nearly 40% of requests we have not been able to fulfill. When DuPage County patients have to travel for life-saving treatment to places like the Mayo Clinic or MD Anderson in Houston or Sloan Kettering in New York, just to name a few, we have a lodging program called Hope Lodge, where cancer patients and their caregivers can come and stay for free. We also have lodging grants that our local healthcare partners can apply for to help alleviate the burden in areas where we don't have a Hope Lodge. These are just a few of the programs and services that the American Cancer Society provides to our local community and is made possible by the funds we raise. But breast cancer is not the only cancer we are fighting. Our vision is to end cancer as we know it for everyone. Cancer is a disease that affects us all, but does not affect us all equally. So we're continually using our voices at both the state and federal level to make sure that cancer patients and their families are at the forefront of the legislation. I am proud of our Illinois advocacy volunteers who worked with the Illinois legislators to be the first state in the country to approve biomarker tests for cancer to be covered by insurance. So an example of a biomarker testing is the PSA test for prostate cancer. It's a simple blood test to look at the PSA levels. So there are a lot of these being researched right now, and so we want to make sure that as they come on board, that they will also be covered by insurance so that people have access to detect cancer earlier. So in fact, this year, this movement for biomarker testing is moving throughout the country. And this year, while at our National Lobby Day in Washington, D.C., legislation was passed out of committee to include both current and future developed tests to be covered by insurance. So thank you for this proclamation, and I would like to thank the board for your partnership, allowing us the use of the 509 garage for our walk participants and funding Giving DuPage, where we are able to recruit not only volunteer drivers for our Road to Recovery program, but also day of event volunteers for our walk. Together, we can end cancer as we know it for everyone.
Okay, now we're going to move on to Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I'd like to invite District 2 representatives and Heather Jamieson of Family Shelter Services to the podium. Okay, each year, we also designate the month of October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. This time each year, we are reminded of the prevalence of domestic violence impacting thousands of men, women, and children each year in DuPage County. District 2 board members Ina Yu, Paula Deacon Garcia, and Andrew Honig are hosting a supplies drive to benefit Family Shelter Service of Metropolitan Family Services of DuPage. Heather Jameson from Family Shelter Service are here to accept our proclamation. Please allow me to read it, and then we'll ask the board members and guests to say a few words. Whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month is observed each October to honor the lives lost to domestic violence, support the millions of survivors, and raise awareness of its profound impact on individuals, families, and communities. Whereas domestic violence is not limited to physical abuse, but includes emotional, verbal, sexual, and economic abuse, as well as intimidation and isolation, which are all used to exert power and control over an intimate partner. And whereas domestic violence affects people of all genders, races, socioeconomic status, religion, and cultures, harming not only adults, but also children. And whereas DuPage County is proud to be the home of Family Shelter Services of Metropolitan Family Services DuPage, a local nonprofit domestic violence organization which provides DuPage residents with vital services such as a 24-hour crisis hotline, court advocacy, emergency shelter, and supportive services. Whereas in DuPage County, Family Shelter Service served over 1,300 clients and served 235 emergency shelter clients in the last year. Court advocates followed up to 6,089 police-reported incidents of domestic violence as required by the DuPage County Domestic Violence Protocol, ensuring survivor safety, providing emotional support, and connecting individuals to resources and referrals. Whereas Family Shelter Service court program assisted with a total of 1,729 order of protection cases, advocates also conducted 40 police roll call trainings across 11 different departments, training 375 officers on responding effectively to domestic violence. Court services teams members sit on the 18th Judicial Court, Circuit Court Family Violence Coordinating Council, and collaborate closely with community partners to strengthen the system's response to domestic violence. Whereas the DuPage County Board wishes to extend its sincere gratitude to the dedicated volunteers at Family Shelter Services, especially those who devote full days at court to supporting survivors. Their compassion, commitment, and tireless effort plays an essential role in ensuring the success and sustainability of these vital programs. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Deborah A. Conroy, Chair of the DuPage County Board, and members of the Board do hereby recognize October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, applaud the efforts of Family Shelter Service of Metropolitan Family Services DuPage, and urge county residents to learn about the signs and effects of domestic abuse to create a safer community for all. Okay, all in favor? Motion carries, enacted this 14th day of October 2025 in Wheaton, Illinois.
I wish we could really celebrate and honor all the domestic violence advocates and staff that work in our county, but this is the day that we do it for this month. And so I just want to say how important domestic violence advocates are. They provide this essential service where they're helping survivors navigate the court system. They're offering options of what they can and what they cannot do, and providing safety planning, which is extremely important in very, very serious situations. And they also offer hope and understanding for those who are in complex abusive relationships. So I truly appreciate Heather Jameson and her 5 staff members over at the courthouse. They provide such an amazing service to the court and to our society. Thank you so much, Heather. Thank you for being here. And I just wanted to quickly mention that, yes, we are doing a domestic violence donations drive. This is our flyer. If you would support, promote our donations drive that supports Family Shelter Service, our one full-service domestic violence shelter in DuPage, I would really appreciate it. And I also did provide all the county board members with these purple pins to honor survivors and the large community of workers and volunteers in the domestic violence prevention movement. If you don't have your pin on, I hope that you will wear it at some point this month in October. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Heather Jameson, and I am the Domestic Violence Program Supervisor of the Court Services Program at Family Shelter Service of Metropolitan Family Services DuPage, where I am honored to have recently celebrated my 30-year anniversary with the agency. I think that longevity speaks to my dedication and passion to providing vital services needed to those affected by domestic violence in our community. Family Shelter Service has been in the community since 1976, and we are the only comprehensive domestic violence agency in DuPage County. All of our services are free and confidential, and we have 4 primary areas of service we provide. First, we have our 24-hour crisis services program, which it consists of a 24-hour hotline and 41-bed inclusive emergency shelter for anyone experiencing domestic violence, regardless of their gender or age, and their children. As we know, domestic violence does not discriminate and crosses all gender, racial, and socioeconomic lines and can happen to anyone. Next, we have our supportive services program, where we provide case management and individual and support group counseling to adults and children, both in our residential and non-residential programs. Our community outreach and education program consists of a variety of services, which include a team of prevention educators who go into the schools and talk with students about healthy relationships and warning signs to look for. Community advocates provide presentations and trainings to community partners and their clients and participate in resource tabling events throughout the community to spread awareness. Family Shelter is also a state-certified 40-hour domestic violence training site. And last but not least, we have our court services program, where I oversee a team of 5 full-time court advocates who assist petitioners with filing orders of protection, accompany them to court, and help them navigate and support them as they go through an intimidating criminal justice process. We are lucky enough to have an amazing group of volunteers who each dedicate 1 full day a week to our program, and we could not do it without their support. We also provide internship opportunities and typically have 1 intern as a part of our team per semester. In addition to our order of protection assistance, the court advocates also follow up on police-reported incidents of domestic violence to our hotline as required by the DuPage County Domestic Violence Protocol. Part of that protocol states that anytime an officer in DuPage County responds to a call for domestic violence, they call in a summary of that report to Family Shelter. The court team and I then access our database daily, and we read through those reports, and then we do outreach to the individuals identified as the victim in those reports. We attempt to reach individuals by phone and also send letters, checking on their safety and letting them know what services are available to them. This outreach removes the barrier of a survivor in crisis having to reach out for assistance on their own, especially if they do not know where to turn. There's often a misconception about what domestic violence is, and people tend to think, oh, it doesn't happen in my community, or that it is an anger management issue, possibly blaming the victim, thinking that they may have done something wrong to make the other person get so angry that they just lost control and acted out violently. Domestic violence is not about losing control, but rather different tactics that an individual uses to gain and maintain power and control over someone else. These tactics are very calculated, intentional, and manipulative. The most dangerous time for an individual experiencing domestic violence is when they try to leave the relationship, because the perpetrator is losing that power and control and will do whatever it takes to get it back, sometimes at all costs. That is when it is most important for Family Shelter Service to be there to answer the call and offer support. The reality is domestic violence is happening in our community, and in FY25, over 1,300 individuals received services from Family Shelter Service programs. The court services program alone provided assistance in 1,729 order of protection cases, of which 544 were emergency orders being filed. The court advocates also followed up on 6,089 police-reported incidents of domestic violence, and hotline advocates answered 6,605 crisis calls. We are very grateful for our community partnerships, which allowed us the opportunity to have advocates provide 40 roll call trainings to 11 different police departments throughout DuPage County, training 375 officers in responding effectively to domestic violence calls. On behalf of Family Shelter Service, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Chair Conroy and Board Member Yu and District 2 representatives for your unwavering support of Family Shelter Service and our mission. We are incredibly grateful for the funding requests, which have recently helped us remodel and expand our office spaces to increase capacity, as well as the advocacy that went into securing our court advocacy office space many years ago over in the Courthouse 505 building, and for all of the essential items for shelter clients that are collected during the various donation drives sponsored throughout the year. Family Shelter Service is offering several opportunities to get involved this October during Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so please follow us on social media for the event schedule and consider joining one of our virtual training series that is being offered every Thursday at 12 p.m. and Wear Purple Day on October 23rd. Supporting a coordinated community response to domestic violence is essential to help ensure survivors and their families can exercise their human rights to justice and fundamental freedoms to lead a life free of violence. Thank you.
Okay, I'm informed we do not have anybody who has signed up for public comment. If the board has received public comment via our online portal per board policy, those comments were provided to members yesterday so they could be reviewed. Comments submitted electronically will be included in the minutes of this meeting. There have been many questions about the powers that immigration and customs enforcement officers have, especially when they appear here on our county campus. ICE officers may not enter any private offices or area of the county campus that are restricted from the public. Areas that are open to the public are also open to ICE enforcement. For example, the jail waiting area is open to the public during posted hours. Our surface parking lots are generally open to the public. As we have heard from the sheriff's office, the sheriff's staff receives no warning when officers appear on our campus, and the sheriff's deputies do not provide ICE officers with assistance. While ICE is deployed here in our region, we as a county will adhere to the law and, most importantly, ensure that the public can safely enter our buildings and conduct their business as usual. We are working closely with our state's attorney's office and the sheriff's office, as this is a fluid situation that has been changing somewhat rapidly. And I can assure you, every day, all day long, I am answering questions and will not put out anything that is not a fact. So we're all in this together. Okay, following the events of the past few weeks throughout our region, I join many of my state and local colleagues in praising the recent opinion of U.S. District Judge April Perry. Last week, Judge Perry issued a temporary restraining order barring the deployment of the National Guard units from any state to locations in Illinois. I also echo the remarks of Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul, who noted that the ruling supported our state's sovereignty and addressed the issue of whether the president has the authority to militarize our cities. While there will likely be appeals, I'm hoping this ruling provides some peace and reassurance to our communities. I hope there is a dramatic and lasting reduction in the fear experienced among our residents. This has been a deeply disturbing incursion into our daily lives, impacting families, children, and local commerce, causing deep harm. I reiterate what I said at the last county board meeting, that I believe we need to focus on ensuring appropriate due process for all and developing a realistic legal path forward for those who are law-abiding individuals seeking American citizenship. I'd love to see this energy, all this energy, expended on solutions, not on continuing to create conflict and fear. On a much happier note, I'd like to add to our collective voice in congratulating Elmhurst resident Fred Ramsell for receiving the Nobel Peace Prize in Medicine last week. His work, along with his partners, Dr. Shimon Sakaguchi, and Mary Bucklow have furthered our understanding of the human immune system. The prize committee said the group's studies opened a scientific field and aided the development of new medical treatments for cancer and autoimmune diseases, several of which are already in clinical trials. We are thrilled to have a DuPage County native receive this incredible international honor, and I know on behalf of myself, Member Cahill, and Member Yu, who all reside in Elmhurst, we are incredibly proud of this. Okay, on to the consent agenda. I seek a motion to approve the consent agenda items. Okay, 25, 24, 51, DuPage County Board regular meeting minutes, Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. 25, 23, 00, 919, 2025 pay list, 25, 23, 08, 919, 2025 auto debit pay list, 25, 23, 20, 923, 2025 pay list, 25, 23, 50, 925, 2025 public works refunds pay list, 25, 23, 53, 926, 2025 pay list, 25, 23, 58, 929, 2025 auto debit pay list, 25, 23, 77, 930, 2025 pay list, 25, 24, 52, 10, 3, 2025 pay list, 25, 24, 71, 10, 7, 2025 pay list, 25, 24, 73, 10, 7, 2025 auto debit pay list, 25, 24, 80, 10, 7, 2025 IDOR wire transfer, 25, 24, 81, 10, 7, 2025 Corville wire transfer, 25, 24, 26 County Clerk's monthly receipts and disbursement report, September 2025, 25, 24, 82 change orders to various contracts as specified in the packet. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're going to move on to Vice Chair Childress and County Board.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on CBR 7425, resolution approving member initiative program agreements.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Covert. Member Desart.
Yes.
Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia. Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu. Member Zay. And Member Cahill.
Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on CBR 7525, the appointment of Richard Kickard to the Glenbard Fire Protection District.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you.
Okay, Finance and Member Garcia.
Okay, for a committee update, we just had it, so everybody saw it, so we don't need to talk about it again.
Okay.
I just don't want to talk. I make a motion to approve FIR 014425, acceptance of an extension of time for the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency non-point source pollution control financial assistance program intergovernmental agreement. This is for stormwater management.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Covert. Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. And Member Galassi.
Okay, Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 015 time for the Illinois Court Commission on Access to Justice Grant Program Year 25, sort of 18th Judicial Circuit Court.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 015525, acceptance and appropriation of the Aging Case Coordination Unit Fund Program Year 26 for Senior Services. This is the amount of $8,130.28 $284.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 015625, acceptance and appropriation of the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus Powering Safe Communities Grant Program Year 25 through Program Power 25 in the amount of $10,000 for facilities management.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 015725, acceptance of modification of funding allocation for the Illinois Home Weatherization Assistance Program, IWAP, income eligible retrofits program. This is for program year 25. This is for an amount not to exceed $171,394.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve FIR 015825, appropriation of additional funding for the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. This is in the amount of $3,487,312 to $4,050,265, increase of $562 and $953 for community services.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 015925, acceptance of an extension of time for the Illinois Court Commission on Access to Justice Grant Program Year 24, Company 5000. This is for the Law Library 18th Judicial Circuit Court.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve FIR 016025, acceptance and appropriation of the Help American Vote Act Polling Place Accessibility Grant Program Year 26 in the amount of... Oh, I'm sorry. We tabled this at Finance. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. This has been tabled for 2 weeks. I apologize. So we'll be bringing that back in 2 weeks. So, moving on to 10I, I make a motion to approve FIR 016125, acceptance and appropriation of the IACAA Employment Barrier Reductions Pilot Program, Program Year 26 agreement. This is in the amount of $40,000, $250 for community services.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 016325, renewal of group insurance programs for human resources.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve FIR 016425, budget transfers 10/14/2025 for various companies and accounting units.
Okay. Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Garcia. Animal Services. Member Desart, do you have anything to add
I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to remind everybody that in an effort to raise funds for the animals, we have a public area that we rent out. So as you're planning your children's birthday parties or holiday gatherings for your company, there is alcohol allowed in this public space, unique business space to have business meetings. Please remember the Animal Services public space and rent it out and have some fun with the pets. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Member Desart. Development and Member Tonatore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move approval of DCP 2-25, our recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Safe Built Illinois for professional services to perform building and plumbing plan reviews and inspections on an as-needed basis in unincorporated DuPage County for the period of December 1, 2025 through November 30th, 2026 for the Building and Zoning Department for a contract total amount not to exceed $75,000.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Tornatore.
Aye.
Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Aye. Member Cahill. Aye. Member Childress. Yes. Member Covert. Aye. Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Eckhoff. Aye. Member Evans. Aye. Member Galassi. Aye. Member Garcia. Aye. Member Heather. Member Honig. Aye. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Aye. Member Martinez. Aye. Member Ozog. Aye. And Member Shorzy.
Okay, Member Tonatore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of DCO 44-25, zoning 2550, for a variation to reduce required rear yard setback for a new chicken coop from 25 feet to approximately 8 feet, and a variation to reduce the required side yard setback from 25 feet to 15 feet. This was denied by the zoning hearing officer as well as the development committee. And I'd ask for a roll call, I think, on this.
Okay. Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Tornatore.
No.
Member Yu.
No.
Member Zay? Member Cahill? Member Childress? Member Covert? Member Desart?
Nay.
Member Eckhoff? Member Evans? Member Galassi? Member Garcia? Member Heather? Member Honig? Member Krajewski? Member LaPlante? Member Martinez? Member Ozog? And Member Schwarzy. 16 no, 2 absent.
Okay, with 16 no, 2 absent, the motion fails.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of DC 045-25, zoning 2551, a conditional use to allow a Class B restaurant in a B1 local business district.
Oh, is there, oh, I'm sorry, Member Covert.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I wasn't sure why a Waffles restaurant would need alcohol served, so I'll be abstaining on this vote.
Okay, roll call, please.
For breakfast mimosas.
Yes.
And Bloody Marys. There you go.
Okay, let's do a roll call.
Okay. Member Tornatori?
Aye.
Member Yu?
Aye.
Member Zay? Member Cahill? Member Childress? Member Covert? Member Desart?
Aye.
Member Eckhoff? Member Evans? Member Galassi? Member Garcia? Member Heather? Member Honig? Member Krajewski? Member LaPlante? Member Martinez? Member Ozog? And Member Schwarzy.
Member Tornatori.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of DC 046-25, zoning 2557, a variation to increase the height of a new flagpole from 24 feet to approximately 60 feet.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do we need a roll call?
No.
Okay, we do. Oh, roll call, please.
Member Tornatori?
Aye.
Member Yu?
Aye.
Member Zay? Member Cahill? Member Childress? Member Covert? Member Desart?
Aye.
Member Eckhoff? Member Evans? Member Galassi? Member Garcia? Member Heather? Member Honig? Member Krajewski? Member LaPlante? Member Martinez? Member Ozog? And Member Schwarzy.
Member Tornatori.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of DC 047-25, zoning 2553, an amendment to zoning 2213 for the West Suburban Athletic Development Corporation to use additional parking and additional land.
Leave is granted. Member Tornatori.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And finally, I move approval of DC 048-25 and also ask to waive first reading of T-5-25 text amendment to approve a text amendment to the DuPage County zoning ordinance relative to short-term rentals of a residential dwelling unit to align the zoning ordinance with current initiatives for the housing solutions and to amend lot requirements in the R3 and R4 residential zoning districts.
Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say that I am not on the development committee and I didn't attend the meeting, but I did watch the meeting in its entirety, and I'm a little concerned about some of the details for this. I would be in support of it, but I'm not sure that we have thought through some of these details. I did look through the packet, and there's some yellow boxes where just kind of fill in the blanks and we'll work on it. And I think this is going to be difficult to enforce. And I think we've got some general numbers about how much money we're going to generate, possibly, and that it might pay for a full-time employee. But I am going to make a motion to table this because I would like a little more information on some of these details and how we are going to how we're going to enforce it.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, this motion will be tabled.
Oh, do we have a vote?
Okay, then we'll
Is
do
there
a
gonna
roll
be
call.
Any discussion at all on the motion to table? I mean, we
Does
have
anybody-
done that in the past.
Okay, we can discuss it. Sure. Does anybody want to discuss tabling it?
Okay, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what information either of you are looking for, the text amendment has gone through the Zoning Board of Appeals and went through Development Committee. And what it is essentially, right now, there is no provision for short-term rentals in our zoning code. So it basically would be under the hotel-motel provision of the code. This would identify short-term rentals as rentals of 30 days or less, would also provide for regulations, basically the same regulations that we have right now, no more than 5 adults unrelated, no more than 6 parking places. It would be regulated, it would be licensed and registered with the county, so there would be some control over it from the county and a county staff person. There would be a fee that would be we don't know what that fee would be. That would be something that we as a county board would ultimately determine. It would then give us the opportunity, once we have these regulations, to be able to enforce them through our adjudication process, which we can't really do right now because we don't have anything under short-term rentals. As far as money is concerned, it would hopefully generate some revenue because of the fees that would be generated. Many of these short-term rentals are operated under not mom and pop type situations, but VRBO and places like that. And they would be, from what we understand, more than happy to pay a fee in order to have some kind of regulations, as well as the neighbors happy to have regulations to deal with the people who are renting some of these areas as well. Also, it would essentially help the Housing Solutions Committee, because that money that would be generated could maybe be moved into the affordable housing area. If there's enough money generated, it might very well and should very well be able to sustain a full-time employee to enforce it. In the meantime, it'll be enforced like anything else we enforce, mostly on a complaint basis right now. Ultimately, when we determine where they're at and how many we have, then we'll decide how many people are needed. So it's been very well thought out and laid out to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I don't know if that helps you in any other way.
Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank staff. Our district is starting to be inundated with people buying these houses up, and neighbors want to know what's going on, or they have a secondary residence, a small lot in the back that's being rented out for these Airbnbs every weekend where there's parties going on. And under the old ordinance, we just have no control whatsoever. So this helps us know what's going on, getting in there, getting inspectors, and then at least giving the neighbors some view of what's going on in their neighborhood, and make it a little bit more restricted, and actually have people have some kind of regulations, because people are just buying houses and then renting them out every weekend, and it's not going well in the unincorporated area in some of our areas, especially in unincorporated West Chicago out in our district. Thank you.
Member you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am on the Development Committee, and I don't have much to add that Chair Tornatore hasn't already said, except that the history is that these text amendments came before to committee, and then they were tabled and actually taken back, brought for more discussion, reworked, and then came back to committee, and then we unanimously approved them. So this is something that we do need to have for the county with regard to the short-term rentals, and also to align our ordinances with our housing solution initiatives. So I think, yes, I will be voting against tabling.
Okay, Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Oh, you know what? Member Desart.
Oh, I'm sorry. Member Desart.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me put my hand down. There we go. It says here in the packet that with current initiative to align with the current initiative for housing solutions. And I don't understand how allowing Airbnb situations will help facilitate our goal of housing solutions, except for the fact that it does say that the fees would go toward the affordable housing programs, just the fee. But I serve on the DuPage Housing Authority, and so affordable housing is obviously a passion of mine. If we voted right now, I would be voting no, because short-term rentals for a weekend party will not help those in need of housing. I think that short-term rentals historically only offer angst and complaints from neighbors. And having people come in and out of neighborhoods via short-term rentals, 30 days or less, in my opinion, will cause more trouble for neighbors than it will benefit the county's affordable housing initiatives. So I would support tabling this so that I can learn more information about this. I'm not on the committee, but I generally go to committee meetings, and I must have missed this discussion. And I don't want to redo the discussion you had in committee, but I would like to learn more about this and how exactly, besides the fees, it will go to support our affordable housing initiative. And like I said, if we voted today, I would vote no. And so I would support tabling it. Thank you.
Okay, I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding. I think what this does is it fixes or it regulates something that's already happening. Yes. So Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My only real concern was that, when we align it with like 5 people not related, if there's a Chang family reunion, that's 100 people. But, I will leave it.
Nothing, just so you understand, nothing that's currently in the ordinance is going to be changed. So you're still not going to be able to have any more than 5 unrelated people or 6 parking places.
But I'm just saying 5 related people, like more than 5. But
you can do that now.
Right.
The whole point of this is to be able to regulate it, which we
but
can't
as
do
an
right
Airbnb. Now. So I would like to pull my motion, withdraw my motion to table it.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Thank you. Then Member Yu, one more, and then we'll take a vote.
Yes, so actually to respond to what Member Desart's, her question, so when we also mentioned that we're aligning the zoning ordinance with the Housing Solutions initiatives, that part is about amending the lot requirements in R3 and R4 zoning districts. And it's essentially reducing the size, and that will actually help senior citizens. It will help a lot of other people. There was a situation, a proposal from a resident who wanted to reduce his very large size so that because he had a lot of health issues and other things, and that was actually, I think, tabled as well because we knew that this text amendment was going to be happening, and that and then he, as of right, could then split his parcel. So that is the reason why we were saying that this would align with our Housing Solutions initiatives.
Okay, thank you. Did we have a second? Okay, roll call, please.
Member Tornatori.
Aye.
Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Aye. Member Cahill. Aye. Member Childress. Member Covert.
Aye.
Member Desart.
Nay.
Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia. Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. And Member Schwarzy.
Okay, thank you, Member Tornatori. Okay, Economic Development and Member Yu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just as a quick update with regard to WorkNet, DuPage, and WIOA funding. So we are now in a 3rd week of government shutdown, and there is no continuing resolution, so we certainly live in uncertain times, and WorkNet is obviously feeling it. WorkNet, DuPage did create and provide a letter of support signed on by over 60 DuPage business corporations and organizations and stakeholders, and sent that letter to Greg Bales, our federal lobbyist, and I believe that we were sending this letter also to our congressional delegation for our state. But it is incredibly important for WorkNet DuPage that we do get a continuing resolution, and we have funding, I think, through November, and then we don't have funding. So that is my update, and I'm hoping that we will not be going on much longer in this government shutdown. I think, according to Lisa, the longest government shutdown federally was 35 days, so hopefully we will not get to that point. Thanks.
Thank you, Member Yu. Okay, Environmental and Member Heather.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the committee update, I want to draw everyone's attention to Cool DuPage, which is DuPage County's Cool Counties initiative to reduce greenhouse gases, improve air quality, and create a more resilient, livable county for all. I highly encourage you to go to their social media page. There is so much information there. Events around recycling, educational information, and also how to get more involved for us as DuPage County residents. So please make sure you like the page, make sure you share the information that's relevant to your district. And I also like to acknowledge Dr. Jane Goodall's work. She passed away last week at 91 years of age. She has inspired generations of young men and women who want to be in the field of biology. I know growing up, she was my hero when I was being trained to be a biologist. She has been a primatologist. She inspired so many people, and I just want to honor her legacy. That being said, I seek a motion to approve ENP-1-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Good Marketing, Inc., to provide marketing services in support of the Chicagoland Recycling Education Marketing Campaign for the Environmental Division of Facilities Management for the period of October 14th, 2025 through June 1st, 2027, for a total contract amount not to exceed $60,000 for RFP 25-88-FM.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Heather.
Yes.
Member Honig. Yes. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Yes. Member Martinez. Yes. Member Ozog. Yes. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Aye. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Aye. Member Cahill. Aye. Member Childress. Member Covert. Aye. Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Eckhoff. Aye. Member Evans. Aye. Member Galassi. Aye. And Member Garcia.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Member Heather. Move on to ETSB. Member Schwarzy's not here. Vice Chair Eckhoff, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of ETS R5325, resolution approving the sale of inventory from the County of DuPage on behalf of the Emergency Telephone System Board of DuPage County to the Vermilion Livingston County Consortium for an amount of $125,400.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Eckhoff.
Aye.
Member Evans. Aye. Member Galassi. Aye. Member Garcia. Aye. Member Heather. Aye. Member Honig. Aye. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Aye. Member Martinez. Aye. Member Ozog. Aye. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Aye. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Aye. Member Cahill. Aye. Member Childress. Member Covert, and Member Desart.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Member Eckhoff. And on to Human Services and Member Garcia.
In terms of a committee update, Chair Schwarzy did not give me one as he's on a beach somewhere. So, so I'm sitting here. I'm going to read these now for him.
And you're going to read this not from the beach. Okay.
No. I make a motion to approve HSCO 000125, amendment to county contract issued to DuPage Federation on Human Rights Reform Language Access Resource Central for interpretation, translation, and American Sign Language services, and an increase of $8,500 for a contract total not to exceed $38,499.
Okay, Member Covert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make a comment. In finance, I did request all the available languages through the translation services, and I'm very impressed with this list. I mean, it even has languages of Karen, which I don't think anybody has heard of. It's from the Myanmar and Thailand area. We have Uzbeki, Urdu, Swahili, and Bosnian. Very impressive. I just wanted to add one more language to this, maybe for next year, because I will approve it this time. And thank you, Mary Keating, for providing this to me. There is a language called Malayalam, which is from Kerala, South India. And there's quite a few people from that South Indian area that speak the language. It's widely spoken in that particular area. So that's just a suggestion for next year.
Thank you, Member Covert. Thanks for your interest in the topic. I will pass that along. If you would send me an email, I would appreciate it. I'll pass that along. I will point out, we have more than one service that does interpretation, so I can also check with our other service provider to see if that's something that they do. Primarily what we use this particular agency for is the face-to-face interpretation, so we also have access to telephone interpretation that may have a much broader array. in terms of particularly, when there's a pocket of individuals in a community in DuPage who speak a language that is maybe not available, we don't have interpretation available, the DuPage Federation does interpreter training programs, and so they will actively recruit individuals from that community who are bilingual in both that language and English, and they will put them through a training program so that they can become interpreters and become paid interpreters. So I'd be happy to pass along that information. If you happen to know individuals from that community who might be interested in becoming interpreters, I'm sure that they would be happy to work with them.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Heather.
Yes.
Member Honig.
Yes.
Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childress. Member Covert. Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. And Member Galassi.
Aye. Okay, Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve HSR 001725, approval of issuance of payments by DuPage County to energy assistant providers through the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP. This is in the amount of $484,140 for the community services.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve HSP 004625, recommendation for the approval of a purchase order issued to WellSky Corporation for the annual renewal of the Homeless Management Information Systems Software and Cloud Services contract, renewal of licenses, training, support, and custom programming for community services for the period of November 1, 2025 through October 31st, 2026 for a contract amount not to exceed $664,028.90. Sole source.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve HSP 004725, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order issued to Pulmonary Exchange Limited for the rental of respiratory care equipment for the DuPage Care Center for the period of November 20, 2025 through November 19, 2026 for a total contract not to exceed $35,000 per lowest bid.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve HSP 004825, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order for HD Supply, Inc. to provide housekeeping and cleaning chemicals as needed for the DuPage Care Center for the period of November 1, 2025 through October 31st, 2028 for a total contract amount not to exceed $189,000.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve HSP 004925, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Point Click Care Technologies for software maintenance for the DuPage Care Center for the period of December 1, 2025 through November 30th, 2026 for a total contract amount not to exceed $302,734.83.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Garcia. Okay, intergovernmental and Member Honig.
Thank you, Chair. The Intergovernmental Committee met last week, and we had the opportunity to hear from Evan Shields. And thank you, Evan, for coming to our meeting. He talked about the Chair's proposed balanced budget and outlined new initiatives moving forward at the county level. There was a productive discussion among the mayors regarding upcoming projects and the multiple ongoing project updates across DuPage, highlighting the continued collaboration and progress in our communities being made. We also engaged in a substantive conversation about the presence of ICE in DuPage County, focusing on how we can collectively address and talk about this issue. And I made it very clear in our meeting that we support the immigrant community here in DuPage, and we will continue to work together to address this issue as we receive factual information. And also, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the newly elected Mayor of Lombard, Anthony Puccio, to our committee. We are pleased to have him join the Intergovernmental Committee, and I look forward to working together in the months ahead. Also, Mayor Puccio mentioned that the Village of Lombard will soon begin talking about home rule, and it seems like that is a topic of conversation amongst municipalities, and letting him know that to let us know how those conversations go. So thank you, Chair.
Okay, and I can briefly add that Mayor Pileski has reached out to me, and we are in the process of putting together a meeting with myself and all the mayors and managers so that we can share what's going on in individual communities with ICE, what's working, what's not working, the challenges, and sometimes fill in some of the gaps of questions that somebody may have found an answer because they experienced it. So that's in the process right now. So Judicial and Public Safety, and Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on JPSP-39-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Waters for the purchase of Waters Radiant ASAP system for the Sheriff's Office for the period of October 15th, 2025 through October 14th, 2026 for a contract total not to exceed $120,486.99.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Evans.
Aye.
Member Galassi. Aye. Member Garcia. Aye. Member Heather. Yes. Member Honig.
Yes.
Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Aye. Member Martinez. Aye. Member Ozog. Aye. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori.
Aye.
Member Yu. Member Zay. Aye. Member Cahill. Aye. Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Covert. Aye. Member Dessart.
Aye.
And Member Eckhoff.
Okay, Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on JPSP-40-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Public Safety Direct, Inc. for upfitting, repairs, and monthly maintenance of Sheriff's Office vehicles for the period of October 31st, 2025 to October 30th, 2026 for a contract total amount not to exceed $522,215.
Leave is granted. Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on JPSP-41-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to B&H Photo Video for the purchase of IT equipment and supplies for the Sheriff's Office for the period of October 21st, 2025 through November 30th, 2026 for a contract total not to exceed $72,458.90.
Leave is granted. Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on JPSP-42-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to CDWG for the purchase of IT equipment and supplies for the Sheriff's Office for the period of October 27th, 2025 through November 30th, 2026 for a contract total not to exceed $43,579.74.
Leave is granted. Member Evans.
Thank you. I move on JPSP-43-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Henriksen for the purchase of office furniture and supplies for the Sheriff's Office for the period of October 14th, 2025 through October 13th, 2026 for a contract total not to exceed $57,574.54.
Leave is granted. Member Evans.
Thank you. I move on JPSP-44-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Curry Motors Fleet for the purchase of two 2025 Ford Interceptors for the Sheriff's Office for the period of October 15th, 2025 through October 14th, 2026 for a contract total not to exceed $90,690.
Leave is granted. Whoop. Leave is granted. Member Evans.
Thank you. And finally, I move on JPSP-45-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Berger Chevrolet for the purchase of three 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 crew cabs for the Sheriff's Office for the period of October 15th, 2025 through October 14th, 2026 for a contract total not to exceed $151,782.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Evans.
Thank you.
Okay, Legislative and Member Dessart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Federally, of course, we're in week 3 of the government shutdown affecting millions of Americans. In Springfield, the veto session opens today, and our legislative committee will get together post-veto session with our lobbyists to discuss all of the results. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Member Dessart. And Vice Chair Childress and Public Works.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on FMP 4925 on the recommendation for the approval of a contract issued to HD Supply to furnish and deliver housekeeping supplies and cleaning chemicals as needed for county campus for facilities management for the period of November 1, 2025 through June 30, 2027 for a total contract amount not to exceed $50,000.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Covert. Member Dessart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia? Member Heather? Member Honig? Member Krajewski? Member LaPlante? Member Martinez? Member Ozog? Member Schwarzy? Member Tornatori? Member Yu?
Aye.
Member Zay? Member Cahill? Member Desart?
Aye.
Okay, Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on FMP 5025 on the recommendation for the approval of a contract order to Commonwealth Edison Company for electric utility services for the non-connected county facility. The facility for facilities management for a period of November 1, 2025 through October 31st, 2029 for a total contract amount not to exceed $60,000.
Leave is granted. Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on FMR 1025 on the recommendation for the approval of an agreement between the County of DuPage, Illinois, and CASA of DuPage County for the lease of space at the Judicial Office Facility for facilities management for a 10-year period of November 1, 2025 through November 31, 2035 for an annual amount not to exceed $1.
Leave is granted. Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on FMR 1125 on the recommendation for the approval of an agreement between the County of DuPage, Illinois, and Family Shelter Services for the lease of space at the Judicial Office Facility for facilities management for a 10-year period of November 1, 2025 through October 31, 2035 for an annual amount not to exceed $1.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Vice Chair Childress. Stormwater and Member Zay.
Morning, Madam Chair. Move on 25-2299, SMP 21A24, amendment to resolution SMP 2124 issued to Cooperhaven Construction for the St. Joseph Creek Condominium Drainage Improvement Project for Building C, the amount to increase the contract by $59,300.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Zay?
Aye.
Member Cahill? Member Childress? Yes. Member Covert? Aye. Member Desart?
Aye.
Member Eckhoff? Member Evans? Member Galassi? Member Garcia? Member Heather? Member Honig? Member Krajewski? Member LaPlante? Member Martinez? Member Ozog? Member Schwarzy? Member Tornatori? And Member Yu.
Aye.
Okay, Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move on 25-2312, SMP 22A24, amendment to resolution SMP 2224 issued to Cooperhaven Construction, St. Joseph Creek Condominium Drainage Improvement Projects, Building A and B, increased contract amount of $70,100.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member
Thank you,
Zay.
Madam Chair.
Technology and Member Covert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For committee updates, this month is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and Michelle Lamonti from IT Security Team has introduced a straightforward way to engage the tech user community in cybersecurity awareness activities through a clever exercise. So 20 people from the IT department have signed up to create phishing emails that are sent to everybody, all the county board users. And they are currently going out, and they do go out throughout the year, to all the users in the county to test them. These emails are specifically designed to test people to see if they would click on a link. And when they do, they have to go through security training. So I think that's a really clever idea. Thank you to the IT department for doing that. And it looks like a hacker's email, so they're very cleverly designed. Let's see what else. Artificial intelligence, AI, is transforming how we work and provide services in DuPage County and around the world. To help staff use AI tools confidently and securely, the IT department has partnered with Innovate US, a nonprofit organization that offers AI training for government workers to deliver county AI training. Following the training, participants will be granted access to Microsoft Copilot Chat. This AI tool functions as a personal assistant for various tasks. The training aims to give county technology users a clear understanding of responsible AI use and includes access to Microsoft Copilot Chat, a free AI assistant, in Microsoft 365 that enhances productivity. A notification has been sent out to county tech users whom the IT department directly supports. And the training is also available to technology users and elected officials' offices that are not directly managed by the IT department upon request. And a detailed message was shared last week explaining how to access the training and Copilot. This concludes my committee update. I now move to combine items 22A through 22E.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I move to approve TE-R002-25, intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the Lyle Woodridge Fire Protection District to permit county staff to create drive time polygons from each fire station within the district as outlined in attachments A and B. I move on TEP-14-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Tyler Technologies, Inc. for annual maintenance in support of the Tyler Enterprise Assessment and Tax System, Identity Workforce Advance and Cashiering for the Tyler IaaS World Software for Information Technology for the period of January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 for a total contract amount of $1,033,770. I move on TEP-15-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Learning Tree International USA, Inc. for the procurement of 15 educational training vouchers, which do not expire for information technology for the period of October 15, 2025 through October 14, 2026 for a contract total amount of $31,410, contract pursuant to the Governmental Joint Purchasing Act. I move on TEP-0016-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Granicus, LLC for an annual subscription to the Gov Delivery software platform used by the county board to send out county e-newsletters paid for by information technology for the period of October 26, 2025 to November 30th, 2026 for information technology for a contract total amount of $36,081.49, contract pursuant to the Intergovernmental Cooperation Act. And I finally move on TE-PE-17-25, a recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Insight Public Sector for the purchase of laptops, desktops, monitors, and docking stations for the period of October 15, 2025 through November 30th, 2025 for a contract total amount not to exceed $337,369, contract pursuant to the Intergovernmental Cooperation Act.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Covert.
Aye.
Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia. Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog.
Aye.
Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. And Member Childers.
Yes.
Thank you, Member Covert. Transportation and Member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sorry to report that one of our Transportation Committee items today includes the words de-icing. Anyway, I move to approve item 252344, amendment to resolution DTR 1325 issued to SKC Construction for the 2025 pavement preservation crack sealing program to increase the funding in the amount of $6,827.12, resulting in an amended contract total amount of $36,827.12.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Ozog.
Aye.
Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Aye. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Aye. Member Cahill. Aye. Member Childress. Yes. Member Covert. Aye. Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Eckhoff. Aye. Member Evans. Aye. Member Galassi. Aye. Member Garcia. Aye. Member Heather. Member Honig. Aye. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Aye. And Member Martinez.
Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 4725, recommendation for the approval of a contract to K-Tech Specialty Coatings Incorporated to furnish and deliver de-icing liquids as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period November 1st, 2025 through October 31st, 2026, for a contract total not to exceed $120,000, not suitable for competitive bids, sole source, sole authorized distributor.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 4825, recommendation with the approval of a contract to Genuine Parts Company doing business as Napa Auto Parts to furnish and install 4 light-duty vehicle lifts for the Division of Transportation for the period of October 14th, 2025 through October 13th, 2026, for a contract total not to exceed $144,750, contract pursuant to the Intergovernmental Cooperation Act.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of 252343, request for approval of payment for the annual membership fee to Julie Incorporated per Resolution DTR 67916, approved by the County Board on November 22nd, 2016, for locating services for the Division of Transportation from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, for an estimated county cost of $18,000.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Ozog.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to old business. Do any members have anything in? Okay, Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, we had a brief discussion in finance today about some of the clerk stuff. You know, I am troubled. We received an email on October 3rd from our Chief Procurement Officer about the Hart Intercivic contract. Just to go back in time, Hart Intercivic is the election equipment that we use that was bought by the County Board and paid for by the County Board and bid by the County Board and our procurement staff. And I think staff can back me up because we had to step in at some point because the state's attorney said we had violated our own processes and we were probably going to get sued for millions of dollars. So we went back, bid that contract. All that election equipment they're saying they have that they produced was bought by the County Board, paid for by the County Board. Well, now the renewals are up, and we're seeing that they're not working with us. And we have no idea what's going on now with the election equipment with Hart Intercivic. I mean, this is starting to be ridiculous. We have a TRO filed against us, and now we have people in their office saying we're illegal obstruction of the election process. If anybody is hindering the election process, it's the clerk of DuPage County. We don't know what's going on with the voting machines, what they're doing with the contracts. The printing of the vote by mail applications, the ballots, the envelopes, we have no idea. Delivery of the election equipment, we have no idea. I mean, I was serious today. When we're getting federal grants in for voter, whatever, paying for voter information, doing that, I will talk to state's attorney, that we need to reach out to the Department of Justice, because if she's not following state law and our county procedures, what's the chance that they're following the federal standards put forward on this? I doubt that. And that leaves us open for that last grant was for $3.8 million. I mean, this has gotten ridiculous at this point. And you know what? I can say, you know, we can say whatever we want and people can be keyboard warriors, but I can tell you, when people from her office and her chief deputy go and attack our state's attorney and the job that he has done and just saying that he doesn't know what he's doing, last time I checked, our state's attorney does a pretty damn good job, and he's probably one of the best state's attorneys in the state of Illinois. And whoever the chief deputy is, I don't think has a law degree. So I think we're at a tipping point here again where we have to do something. I know we have court cases going, and I'm sure we have executive session again today, but there need to be some measures taken. And Madam Chair, I'm for your budget, but I don't know if I'm going to vote for it because I really don't want to give that office anything at this point. I mean, this is a discussion that this board has to have because you were being nice giving them an increase. And we can't get any cooperation out of that office whatsoever. We should give them 80% of what you put forward and then have them come back to us and then start explaining if they want money starting toward the end of next year what they're actually paying for, because this has gone on way too long. And again, if anybody needs to be transparent, it's the clerk's office when it comes to elections. And we're not interfering at all. We're just saying you have to go out and bid stuff. How do we know how this is going on? How we don't have a sweetheart deal with somebody? How we know they're not coding things differently? I don't know, but there's people out there that will say, well, something's wrong. We know it on both sides of the both parties will say, there's something wrong going on here. Vote by mail is not right. There's something going on. Well, we can't refute it because we have no idea how these things are being printed, who's paying for it, if they're a low bid or if they're not. So I hope some of this will be discussed during executive session today. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, we've got a lot of, I got everybody. Member Garcia was next.
On a different subject. I just wanted to talk more about the ICE situation and ways that I think we as a county can help. I've been working with Representatives, State Representative Maura Hirschauer's office in terms of getting mental health. We've got a lot of people here who are anxiety-ridden because of what is happening, but they cannot come down to the CRC. They don't want to leave their houses. So we're trying to get mobile services to their houses. We're trying to make sure they know about 988, and so we're trying to work. There's a whole team. I know Member Schwarze's on that also with the calls, and so, I just want to make sure that people are aware that we are trying to get the word out on how we can help all the people who are getting affected by what's going on, and we are quite aware, and so as a team here, we're working on that. So that's what I wanted to add.
Okay, great. Member Eckhoff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to follow up a little bit about what Mr. Zay talked about. A few months ago, the chief judge appointed an attorney to represent the county clerk in order to defend against the lawsuit we were bringing against her. And during that process, she filed a counterclaim, but the counterclaim was primarily the same defense she was making against our complaint. Now she's bringing a temporary restraining order or mandatory injunction, some type of other litigation. And I think this is way past the authority that this attorney has to represent the clerk. He's supposed to defend her, not start filing lawsuits against the county or against us or against you. Because if he is allowed to do this, the litigation is never going to end. And we shouldn't be paying some attorney to sue us. So I'm hoping that the chief judge will make that clear to him and cut off his authority and cut off the fees that he's being paid, because I'm sure so long as he's being paid to sue us, he'll keep suing us, and this litigation will never end. So he's got limited scope, and I'm hoping that the TRO or whatever mandatory injunction gets denied, and I'm hoping that the counterclaim in a couple of weeks get denied, because I'm sure the next thing they're going to do is turn around and appeal, so that they've got another year of litigation and the fees that they're going to be collecting for what I would think is a defense of the clerk's office, who still doesn't seem to get the idea that the Attorney General's opinions are opinions, and that there's only one court system in Illinois, and that's the court system we're in. Second thing is, I'd like to know what's the status of the Attorney General investigation that our state's attorney handed over to the Attorney General a few months ago. I didn't think that was a real complicated situation. I'm sure our office, our state's attorney, gave the Attorney General all the information they needed, and there should be some type of decision about that, which I understand was a criminal case, but it's been 3 or 4 months and I haven't heard anything, so I'd ask our state's attorney's office to call the Attorney General and get an update on it or get some type of resolution on it.
Okay, thank you, Member Eckhoff. Member Ozog.
I just want to say this really slowly. I agree with Member Zay,
Ooh.
just for the record.
Date, time.
But kidding aside, and there's nothing to be kidding about here, one of our first major contentious issues on this board was the purchase of new voting machines. And if I recall correctly, we hadn't bought new voting machines in this county for over 20 years, and there were failures, et cetera. And we fought both Democrats against Democrats, Democrats against Republicans to get this done. And that was a county contract. So to read this email a few weeks ago, or 10 days ago, that this is just being taken away from us, even though we were the ones who approved it, the renewal should go through us, I can't explain it. And it just seems so against what should be normal procedure. The other issue I have is, again, referencing the article I read in the newspaper today, that apparently the Prager Moving Company's contract with the county has gone on for 40 years. And none of us knew that until we saw it. Apparently it was in documents, but it was in the Daily Herald today. So that, to me, alone seems to completely go against any reason that we have bidding. To hear of a 40-year contract, we don't know anything about the specifications, what needs to be done. You know, we all understand what professional services means, but I don't really understand how a moving company, yes, these are very specialized machines, et cetera, but it seems to me that should at least be specified some way, and if it does turn out that it goes back to that company, fine, but that's totally against, we don't know what procedures have been used. And to go back to my comment earlier today, this arrangement that we have in this county and the way county government works is supposed to be a system of checks and balances. And that's why we have budgets, that's why we have budget approvals, et cetera. And this flies in the face of anything that resembles normalcy. And it's offensive to read about a 40-year contract in the Daily Herald with nowhere to go to ask any questions. And I'll point out that, you know, while the clerk's office may not want to respond to us as board members, I'm also her constituent. And to not be able to get any answers about how things are done, if they're being done properly, is extremely frustrating. But, you know, borderline, we don't really know what's going on legality-wise. So I really hope that eventually this situation gets resolved, but I don't understand it. And it really, it's a bad mark on all of us that this sort of thing is continuing. And I hope that we can get this resolved and that the clerk's office starts doing things the way that is normal and that we expect it to be done. Thank you.
Okay, Member Covert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was actually going to bring this up, and members, they beat me to it. I was going to bring it up in new business, but since we have brought it up, I have a general concern, and this is prompted by what's going on with the clerk's office. In the newspaper, you know, I read today that we have an injunction against us and to pay our bills, and you know, I don't know. My question is, you know, how long is this going to go on? Because these legal fees are being paid by taxpayer dollars. And I don't know if there's an end. We could keep going back and forth. Is there a cap? And maybe somebody could answer that question for me. Is there a cap to the legal fees that elected officials could spend on a particular issue? Because we work really hard as a fiscal board. We are responsible on this board, and everybody here in this room, they do what they can through their committees to bring in revenue or to balance the budget and to make sure that we are spending our taxpayer dollars the right way. And I just don't want to drain our budget because this could go on forever. So just in general, because it could happen again. I mean, it's just not particular to this office. It could happen again. So do we have a cap to this?
I just want to clarify a couple things. First of all, there is not an injunction issued against us. There's a hearing set for Thursday.
Sorry, yes.
So that's a separate
what I meant.
issue. As far as legal fees, there's two different types of fees that we're talking about. There's not a cap, so to speak, with regard to fees that can be charged that right now the chief judge reviews each time they're submitted with regard to the civil case that's ongoing. With regard to any fees that might be incurred that the clerk or deputy clerk might incur in regard to the Attorney General investigation, those would be borne by them individually if there were attorney fees in regard to that. So I just wanted to, there's a distinction between attorney fees in the civil case versus any type of Attorney General investigation.
So
there's not a cap.
There's no cap. Is it possible to have a cap? And then it starts getting paid through personal funds, or
that would be up to the chief judge, if she, you know. And I know that she is scrutinizing these bills quite thoroughly.
And then my last question is that if we were to institute a cap, would that be a resolution or some type of an ordinance passed through this county board, or would that come through the state? Or?
That would any cap would have to come from the chief judge. She's the one that approves the bills and sends them here.
Yeah, and I think the distinction is very important. So the suit that's been brought forth by Kwame Raoul's office is a criminal case where they will have to retain their own attorneys. We will not spend any money on defending them for that. Member Cahill.
I just want to follow up. Let's hear the number. So through June, it was $112,000 that the county has spent on legal fees defending the clerk. We've had July, August, September. What's the new number?
It's my understanding that it's $161,500 at this point.
Through what period of time?
That's August.
$161,500 through August. So we still have September and October, and there's been a lot going on.
There's
So
been
yeah.
continued activity, yes.
Okay, this is going to be a huge number.
Okay. Anyone else in old business? Okay. New business. Member Martinez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm here today to advocate for the creation of a county-level relief fund to support small businesses that have experienced significant economic losses during the recent period of heightened ICE activity in our community. Over the past several weeks, many local businesses, particularly those serving immigrant and mixed-status neighborhoods, have reported severe declines in customers and in revenue. Residents are staying home out of fear, and as a result, restaurants, retail shops, and service providers are struggling to keep their doors open. I have personally spoken with constituents who are struggling in this area. There are legitimate and measurable economic effects that warrant a county response. While immigration enforcement is a federal issue, its economic and social repercussions fall squarely on local communities like ours. Establishing a temporary grant or stabilization program would protect local jobs, preserve commercial corridors, and maintain our tax base. This proposal, this topic, is not about politics. It's about prudent governance. It's about mitigating the collateral economic harm caused by forces outside of local control. A small, well-targeted relief fund, coupled with transparent eligibility criteria and community outreach, would provide a bridge for businesses that contribute daily to the vitality of our county. I urge the board to consider this initiative and to work towards it on every committee that is possible, both as a matter of economic necessity and community integrity. By acting now, DuPage County can demonstrate leadership, compassion, and fiscal responsibility. Thank you.
Anybody else in new business? Okay. Well, I am informed we do have matters before us requiring us to enter into executive session. I'll ask those not associated with this executive session to please exit the room. I will take a motion to go into executive session. Yeah, okay. Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act 5 ILCS 120/2C21, semi-annual review of minutes. C5, the purchase of lease of property for the use of a public body, and litigation.